Anyhow, folks, here we are, NFC West. We're officially moving into the quarterback desert that is the National Football Conference, as we have spoken of before. As you might hear, we got a couple frog voices going on, folks. Me and Cody are under the weather. I'm a little bit drunk. We're on vacation, but we're here for y'all.
I'm so high because there's no way to do it otherwise. I'm so sick right now.
Nice.
So bad.
You know, we all sound like the Marlboro Men, and that's how it needs to be. And, some people might find that entertaining.
This episode brought to you by the Marlboro Man.
Yeah. And this episode brought to you by cigarettes.
Right?
Yeah. So anyhow, NFC West, guys, we're talking Niners, Seahawks, Rams, Cardinals. Pretty clear to me who the worst team is in this conference. I hope you guys would agree with me that they exist in the southern reaches of the conference, in a hot deserty place called Arizona.
Yeah,
Arizona,
because they're going to be terrible.
They're the worst.
They have nothing on defense. They're completely depleted. They have no real star power on offense. I mean, Marquise Brown is what they got, and they're not going to have their starting quarterback.
Until Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a terrible season. But crucially, there's always fantasy value even on the worst teams. We saw that with Atlanta last year. Tyler Algier, Drake London in spurts. There is value on bad teams, and Dameon Pierce in Houston is a great example, right? Because sometimes on bad teams, whoever is the cream of the crop on that team, as Cody would like to say, sometimes can just get fed the rock over and over and over again. And that's valuable. Volume produces statistics, which produces fantasy points.
Is there a guy like that in Arizona?
I do. I do think there is one. And I think we should talk about the quarterback first. I mean, Kyler Murray is not going to be there. The quarterback from Arizona is going to be irrelevant. Nobody should be drafting them. I don't think anybody in our league, as foolish sometimes as the draft picks that are made, will make that foolish of a decision to draft a Colt McCoy per se,
Austin.
or whoever.
Knock on wood.
I mean,
Austin's going to get him.
It would be wild.
Colt McCoy starting week one.
I mean, he's got a great name. Not such a great quarterback in the NFL, but so I think we can skip over quarterback. Kyler Murray should not be drafted. He's not going to be healthy at best. If your quarterback gets injured and right before he comes back, maybe you can pick him up on the waiver. That's the only utility he's going to have all year.
Did Arizona add anybody to their lineup?
Not really. I mean, there's a couple rookies we can talk about, but they're deep sleepers, man. And they're wide receivers. So if there's two big values that I think are to be had in Arizona. And one of them is James Conner. And the reason being is because James Conner is volatile, right? A few years ago, James Conner scored 16 touchdowns when they were in route to.
It was hard to watch.
It was wild, right? He's capable of doing that. Is he going to do that on this team? I doubt it. However, they don't have anybody else. They got rid of their rookie. They sent him. Benjamin went to New Orleans, I believe, to be the fourth string running back there. So they don't have anybody to step in. They have, I think, I don't even remember the second.
They added Corey Clement, but that's their number 2 right now.
Corey Clement was good 6 years ago. I mean, he had a moment in Philly. He had a moment.
He had a 6-game window where he looked pretty good.
Yeah,
he did.
And you know what? He had a lot of good years at Wisconsin. We love Corey Clement, Wisconsin running back. Never forget. Anyway, he was there. It was Corey Clement and Melvin Gordon. Yeah, that is one. You're welcome. Anyhow,
he gets one. He literally has a cow picture behind him. So
I know. Come on, man.
One.
Respect the psychedelic cow. Anyway, so all I'm trying to say is James Conner is going super late. He's going around like running back 30. They don't have anybody. They're going to have to run the ball. He's going to touch the ball 20 times a game. If he can stay healthy, he's going to Dameon Pierce his way to RB 15 to 20, somewhere in there. So where he's being drafted at, he's going to be a solid RB2. If he stays healthy, he's a solid RB2 all year long. I firmly
That's
believe
it, though,
that.
isn't it?
I don't think his ceiling is better than that because they're going to be a terrible offense. You have to
I
be a
meant
good offense to be higher than an RB2, you know?
you're right. I think I
So
meant like on the team, though. Like that's it, though.
that's what, well, no, you got Marquise Brown too. Similar case with Marquise Brown. They got to throw the ball to somebody, and all they got is Marquise Brown. So he's also going to get loaded with targets.
You think Colt McCoy is going to make Marquise Brown a
He still
doable
has to throw
fantasy
the
pick?
ball. He still has to throw the ball 30 times a game. At a
Yeah.
minimum, it's the NFL, man. They got to throw it 25, 30 times a game, no matter what. You know?
Yeah.
So it's going to somebody. And if he catches 8 of those for 60 yards, that's 10 points a game. That's wide receiver 2 territory.
Go get him, Marquise Brown.
Yeah.
I heard it here first.
I'm
Such
just
an
saying.
unsexy pick, though.
They're all unsexy picks. But Marquise Brown, though, the reason why I like him in that role as a guy on a bad team that's going to get fed a lot of volume is because he's blazing fast.
Yeah.
Like he also has touchdown upside. He could take any one of those. If he catches a 5-yard slant, breaks a tackle, he could be gone. So that's the type of guy you want on a team like that. Somebody who has the speed to break a play open on any given week. And if he's going to be getting that much volume, he's going to do that a few times. And because of where he's being taken, again, they're both being taken super late. I mean, we're talking like 7th to 10th round, somewhere in there. That's the window for both of them.
Well, there are some there are some rosters where it makes it really hard to find any motivation to have someone on that team on your squad. And Arizona feels like that team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. But you still, again,
in Chicago. If it's not
there's-
Justin Fields.
I think there's guys in Chicago that I would like to have, but we'll get to that at a later date. Talking about the West, but I don't think the tight ends are worth it. Trey McBride, Zach Ertz, both going to be. I mean, again, terrible offense, super deep last round. I mean, Cody's dying on us. You know, it is what it is, folks. We're going to get through this one. If you're looking for a rookie sleeper that could actually break out in the second half of this year. The other ones that you have there in Arizona are Rondale Moore, right? Speedster. He's going to be the wide receiver too. He's going to be in the slot. I don't think they have a quarterback who can get him the ball. But maybe late in the year, if Kyler Murray comes back, okay, you know, people have forgot about some of these guys. Maybe he could be useful for a playoff run later in the year. It's something you got to keep your mind on. You have to keep your eye on it, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely something for like a week 10 podcast for sure. Yeah. Because, I mean, how the fuck do you don't
I'm not keeping a tab open on him for 10 weeks.
Can't do it. Got to put that one away.
When you hear Kyler Murray coming back, you need to have a mental reminder. Oh, yeah, I should think about the guys in Arizona again because that's going to change things a little bit. The only other one I want to mention was Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson is a big-bodied wide receiver that they brought in as a rookie. He's a very late draft pick, but he is very athletic. And he produced well in college. He's kind of raw, but he has the prototype to be a big-bodied wide receiver, you know, a la like T. Higgins or somebody like that could produce. He could turn into something.
Are you sleeping on Greg Dortch?
I don't think Greg Dortch can do shit, but I mean, maybe. Maybe the Dortch, the human Dortch, as they say. But anyway,
I like that.
I think that's pretty much it. Start all your offensive pieces against Arizona.
I'm going to pass all the Dortch.
Pass the Dortch.
Yeah, nice. But here's the thing. The one other thing to know about Arizona is when your offense of players are playing Arizona's defense, start them all, because they're gonna rack it up. So Arizona's defense is gonna be bad, real bad.
Yeah.
So, I think that's about it for Arizona.
Right? Let's put that one down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we did due diligence on that one, and that's still.
It's true. If anyone accuses us of phoning in a goddamn one of these 32 teams, you come right back to Arizona. Okay,
it better be Houston and Arizona.
I gave you 6 solid minutes of Arizona.
Yeah, and there's nothing there, by the way. Okay, so now it gets. I think the second worst team is pretty clear to me too. Actually,
I think we're going to disagree.
Interesting.
Ooh.
Interesting.
I think
So
it's
for
close.
me,
I think it's real close.
My guess is that
it's close.
My guess is that you've got the Rams in that spot.
Absolutely.
And I think the Rams. I think the Rams finished too. I think the Rams bounced back a little bit.
I think there was two teams that performed in the opposite direction and equally surprising last year, and so I see them both returning somewhere more to the middle, and that means Seattle gets worse and LA gets better.
Yeah, I don't see Geno outdoing the Rams this year. I just don't see it.
I don't either.
I think the Rams are going to be better because Matt Stafford's going to be there, right? Mm-hmm. If Matt Stafford's healthy, they're going to be better. However,
Cup's going to be hopefully 100% again.
Cool, but where's the defense, man? They don't have Jalen Ramsey. They don't have anybody in the secondary.
They have Aaron Donald though, and so when you say where's the defense, I'm like, all right, well, they got Aaron Donald. So like,
you can't run things mellow out of one nose tackle. He's amazing,
but he's the best nose tackle ever. So
do you think the Seahawks defense is much better?
I think the Seahawks
got a better secondary.
The Seahawks took the best cornerback in the draft out of Illinois. They got a really great they got a super diamond in the rough with that big bodied what's his face Wooten.
Yeah,
they're gonna have a good secondary.
I agree.
Excuse me, folks. They're gonna have a good secondary. I don't think their pass rush is gonna be amazing, but I think on balance that their defense is as good as the Rams is gonna be, and I think they have way more weapons on offense. They have two solid running backs. They have 3 high pedigree wide receivers. They have arguably the best wide receiver in the draft. At least that's what the NFL thought. They all had JSN as the number 1 wide receiver this year coming out. Mm-hmm. They have DK Metcalf, and then they have Tyler Lockett, who everybody always overlooks, but is still amazing down the field. Uh-huh. So if Geno even plays 80% as well as he did last year, their offense is going to be better because
it comes down to that. Is Geno Smith better than Matt Stafford 2 years in a row? And I am going to bet no.
I mean, that's fair, but I think Seattle's going to have a better running game too.
Well, I mean, we need to cover this as a fantasy level. Like we probably vote here. Who do we think?
Well, it feels like
the third best team.
And I'm losing this argument.
Yeah, I think the vote is that Seattle's in the 3 spot. I do think it's close, but
I think it's very close. I'm okay to eat crow on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like if I get this one wrong, I'm like, eh.
I think you guys are wrong. But anyway, we can talk about Seattle. So, I mean, let's talk about Seattle. Geno Smith got paid. So Seattle believes that Geno Smith is going to be their guy for the next 2 years at least.
Yeah, but I think how much is Geno? How much options?
How much did Geno get paid?
He got paid well.
How much?
Paid well.
What know?
The balance sheet will check it out, but
it's over. You said it's 2 years.
He got a 3-year contract, but he probably got 2 years of that guaranteed, right?
3-year, 105.
105 for 3 years.
So he's getting 35.
That's pretty good for Geno.
That Smith. Is. That's really good. He's getting 35 a year.
Yeah, man.
Damn. So Geno Smith getting 35. Damn.
He had a phenomenally high completion percentage last year.
He did.
And arguably he has a better offense this year. He has another weapon, man. He has Zach Charbonnet, Ken Walker.
Geno Smith getting fucking 35.
It's just not that easy for me to write off an entire career of backup performances because of one year where he had a couple of clutch plays.
Did you watch him at West Virginia? It was magical. Okay.
How old were you when that was the thing?
I don't know. How long has he been in the NFL?
That's like high school for me, probably. But
long time ago.
No, he's not that old.
It had to be college at least for me. It's
long
been like 10 years.
You can't even remember it.
All right, man.
How often do I remember West Virginia quarterbacks? Like
you brought it up.
I know,
I'm gonna look it up.
He looks so good. Him and Tavon Austin. Holy smokes!
Oh my God! You must be a Cowboys fan.
So Geno Smith has been in the league for 10 years, man. He's 32,
and I'm not writing off 9 of them because of last year.
Seattle they're writing off for about $35 million.
Oh, that should change my mind.
I just think Okay,
Change his mind a little bit. Change his mind a little bit.
Let's think about this. Okay, they're going to play 17 games this year. 4 of those games are going to be against LA and Arizona, who are horrendous on defense. A quarter of his games are going to be against bad defenses.
That's a good point.
That's already right there. Like, I mean, every quarterback has a down week or two. Like, all he needs.
His 2 are going to be against San Francisco.
Oh, absolutely. Well, everybody's going to have a lot of down weeks against San Francisco this year. But
Geno's a career backup who had a nice Case Keenum-like season.
And Case Keenum should have got another shot.
Wait a minute. You think Case Keenum and Geno Smith on the same level?
No, but I think their seasons were.
Geno's way more athletic than Case Keenum.
Is he?
For sure. Absolutely.
Is he?
Geno, I think Geno ran. Nah, listen, man. Geno ran for like 350 yards last year. People forget that too.
That's not that much.
For Geno Smith.
That's like 20 yards a game, dog.
Check it out. Geno Smith had 68 carries for 366 yards last year. That's a lot for Geno Smith.
Okay, so I think he regresses.
If he runs for 300 yards.
I agree with you that Geno had a pretty good year last year. I agree with you guys that Geno had a pretty good year last year. He's not putting up another one.
Next to some Geno Smith discussion.
I think Geno Smith, you know what? I'm going to enrage both of you. I think Geno Smith outperforms Dak Prescott next year.
It's funny you said that because my team name last year was Dacked and Stacked, right? I had Geno Smith as my starting quarterback. I didn't even name my team after him. That's how I feel about Geno Smith.
You want to know what's fun? Is I have them both on my dynasty team. Yeah. And I have Jordan Love too. Anyway.
What a heap of trash at quarterback you have.
Yeah, I got all the NFC quarterbacks, baby.
Not the ones you want. Not the ones you want.
They'll be fine. The rest of my team's stacked. But anyhow, let's move off of Geno. Clearly we're going to agree to disagree on that one. I don't think we're convincing Jake of Geno. What's more interesting to me is who dominates the carries in the backfield. I think it's going to be frustrating until there's an injury. Because I think they're going to give both of them carries.
You don't think they're just going to unload to Kid Walker again?
Well, here's the problem: they're both injured right now.
Yeah,
Zach Charbonnet's got a banged up shoulder. Ken Walker's got a hamstring. I think it might come down to who's healthy at the beginning of the season. They're both banged up already.
Dang.
So I think Charbonnet is going to be the goal line back because as explosive as Ken Walker was, right? He had one of the highest rates of rushes over 15 yards in the league actually last year. Got a lot of huge runs, right? But he was really not that efficient between the tackles. That gets lost on people. He had a lot of runs of like 2-3 yards, and then he would bust one for like 70. That's what got everybody excited because that's exciting. That's 13-point play. You know what I'm saying? You take a 70-yard one to the house, it's 13 points. Everybody loves that. But
everybody loves it.
When he was inside the 5, I think his numbers were subpar. And Zach Charbonnet excelled at UCLA inside the 5. And so
is that the split?
I think Charbonnet is going to be the goal line back. I think that's what's going to happen. And that's going to take value out of Walker.
I hate it.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Because you want to draft Ken Walker, but I think he's
but there's still substantial upside to Walker because of what you said. The fact that he's going to score from outside the 20.
He's going to go over. He's going to go before Aaron Jones, though, and I'm not taking him before Aaron Jones.
I'm with you on that
because he's the running back. So Ken Walker right now. I've seen Ken Walker go before Joe Mixon also, which is also crazy to me. Because Joe Mixon doesn't have somebody who's going to take the goal line work. Joe Mixon, even if Joe Mixon is horribly inefficient. He's on one of the best 5 offenses in the league. He's going to get so many attempts inside the 5. He's going to score touchdowns. And when we're playing half-point PPR, you got to have your running back score touchdowns. That's the most important thing.
Okay, well, since it fits the division, Ken Walker or James Conner?
Well, Ken Walker.
Ken Walker, yeah.
Okay, they're side by side in the rankings. That's why I'm asking.
That's unbelievable that they're side by side of the rankings.
That's wild. I've never seen that. Well, ESPN's
ESPN's got them 17 and 18. I mean, the app that we use for our fantasy league, so it feels relevant.
That's crazy. That's hilarious to me because to me, James Conner is like the running back, like 30. But because like if you're putting James Conner at 18, that means you're putting him above Cam Akers, Dameon Pierce. He's right around Aaron Jones. Like, there's so many other running backs that I would have way before James Conner.
Because the Arizona stink.
Well, they're just not going to score a lot of touchdowns.
This one's got these five people in a row surrounding him. You got Jahmyr Gibbs, Kenneth Walker, James Conner, Madison, and then Pierce. That's the order they got from 16.
The only one that I would think about is not taking him. I would consider taking him before Madison. I don't like Madison. Madison is like the
Madison's going to have a better year than Jones, and you're not ready to hear that.
Madison is the quintessential guy, okay, that has come in and had a game here or there, and now everybody's assuming he's just going to do that for a whole year. To me, he's a massive trap waiting to happen. And they have other guys behind him that can carry some of the workload, and I think they're going to because Madison's not a proven running back. He's had 70 carries a year. His yards per carry have gone down for the last 4 years. I don't think he's going to do it, man. I think people are going to be disappointed when they draft Alexander Madison. That's all I'm saying. But we're not talking about the Vikings. So,
one of us is.
I mean, what? Well, you got me going on Madison, man. So anyway, I don't know.
Seahawks going to start the season against the Rams, the Lions, and the Panthers. So they're going to have it seems like a running back favorable matchup to start.
Maybe. I think the Panthers are going to be tougher on defense than people think.
Think so?
I think so. They were pretty good against the run last year.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, so when it comes to Seattle, if one of the backs is hurt going into the draft, I'll take the other one. Otherwise, if I have an opportunity to take one of them late, I'll take whoever's the least expensive. So if Charbonnet is going much later and I can get him at a discount, I'll take Charbonnet if it makes sense for my team. Otherwise, I'm probably not taking either one.
Yeah.
To me, it's way more interesting to talk about the wide receivers.
Let's do it.
So, DK is going to go first.
As he should. He's a monster.
Yeah, he's going like wide receiver 14, 15 right now. Love DK this year because they have too many guys to cover. I think DK is going to see more. It's got to. So what's going to happen is maybe DK draws the doubles early on in the year, but when JSN starts lighting people up, that's going to change. And the more single coverage DK draws, the more touchdowns we're going to see for DK Metcalf because you cannot single cover that man down the field.
Are you calling for it? Geno Smith MVP season?
No, but I think I'm calling for DK Metcalf wide receiver 1 season. Top 12. That's what I'm calling.
Wait, top 12 or 1?
Wide receiver 1 is top 12 to me. I'm not saying not one overall.
Not the wide receiver 1.
Not the one. He doesn't have that level of upside with Geno Smith, but he could be a top 10. He could be a top 10 for sure.
Okay.
Which puts him ahead of some big names. That might put him ahead of like CeeDee Lamb, Devontae Adams, guys like that.
He strikes me as that wide receiver that puts up 25 points and then puts up 4 the next week. I don't know how much of that is the team, like game plan kind of thing. Pete Carroll likes to run the ball too, but I see a lot of duds coming from DK.
He's not the greatest route runner. He's just a very physical wide receiver. Like he runs routes fine, right? But he doesn't run routes like Stephon Diggs or CeeDee Lamb.
No.
You know what I mean?
And then to juxtapose him with Tyler Lockett, it seems like DK Metcalf's the guy that when they're scheming the play, they're looking for DK. But when the play breaks down, it's Tyler Lockett. That man finds some space. I love Tyler Lockett. Grant, he went to the same college as me, so there's a little homer there, but like the guy is just so underappreciated. I
think he's going to fall into Tyler Boyd land now because there's 2 big dogs that are going to get fed in front of him now.
Tyler Lockett's been a top 15 wide receiver, I think, 3 years in a row now.
I know, but you just brought in the number 1 prospect at wide receiver onto the team, and he's going to play in the slot. JSN's going to play in the slot, and Lockett and Metcalf are on the outside. That's the way they've been lining up at training camp. So to me, like, I think Lockett's going to, just like Tyler Boyd, Lockett's going to have a game here or there where he just blows the gates off, right? But I think the two you're going to want to have on a consistent basis are Jackson Smith and Jigba and DK.
That's so Lockett's sitting at wide receiver 28 on the list that I'm looking at now. Do you think that's a fair value for him?
I think he should be more like wide receiver 35, to be honest.
The same list has got JSN going wide receiver 45.
That's wild to me.
In like Lazard and Juju territory.
That's nuts. So JSN should be going right around like 30.
See, now that seems nuts for the unproven Wookiee wide receiver.
The Wookiee. No, I mean, like if you look at where he's going in a half-point best ball draft. Let me pull this up real quick, because like half-point best ball drafts are relevant to our league because it's the same scoring format. Now, granted, these best ball drafts, you do have 3 wide receiver spots and a flex, so you're going to draft more wide receivers, clearly. Yeah. But I want to pull this grid up real quick.
You're also expecting a lot for 3 different receivers that all have Geno Smith throwing them the ball.
In every best ball draft, though, JSN is going in like the 4th or 5th round, a round or 2 ahead of Tyler Lockett. And these are leagues where people are competing for like millions of dollars. So people who spend a lot of money doing that are all taking.
You acknowledge that best ball's similar, but not the same. It changes people's values.
Yeah,
you're not going for like a weekly lineup kind of thing. You're going for potential, and the rookie that nobody's actually seen is going to draw more blind fervor simply because of that fact.
I think it also has to do with the fact that he's going to be playing in the slot, though. Like he could arguably be more talented. Like when he was on the same field with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, he was the guy. The other two were the 2 and 3 behind him. When those 3 were on the field at the same time at Ohio State, when JSN was healthy, JSN was the guy, and the other 2 were behind him. We just forget because we haven't seen him play in a year because he's been injured. So if he comes back and plays like that, and he plays on that level, and he's playing in the slot.
What was his injury?
He had a really bad, some type of ligament tear in his knee. It kept him out like his whole last year. And then the league still drafted him as the number 1 wide receiver overall. That's how good he is. Okay. So I'm just trying to say, people forget how good he was. He did that over the course of like a year or 2, and he convinced the entire NFL without even playing for a full year that he's still the best prospect. So, I mean, to me, maybe the entire NFL is wrong. It's happened before, right? Mm-hmm. It has, but I'm just saying that I think JSN's he's gonna be good. I think there's a lot of risk there. There's a lot of risk because just like Calvin Ridley hasn't played in a while, but like if he plays like he played in college, he's gonna be a massive value. He's gonna go way too late. But anyway, I'd love to give me some
JSN.
Do we give a shit about the tight end on this team?
I don't.
Nah. Noah Fant has not done anything. He's a hyped up prospect. He's never lived up to it. Yeah, Noah can't. Nice.
Noah shan't.
Will Disley will probably score more touchdowns than him again. Big Montana. But
he's gonna get 2.
Yeah, exactly. It's all gonna go through the wide receivers. Russell Wilson loved the tight ends. Geno Smith loves wide receivers. They're very different quarterbacks.
Yep.
So we kind of covered Seattle's defense a little bit. I think Seattle's gonna have a tough secondary as long as they stay healthy. But I think they're middle of the pack. Yeah. I think they're gonna be a defense you can run on. Maybe you can't pass on so well. That's probably how it's gonna go down.
Yep.
Anyway, should we go to the Rams? I mean, we all know San Francisco's number one in this division.
We all know San Francisco's number one.
Yeah. So the Rams, Matt Stafford is healthy. We got an Erica appearance coming in here.
We got a bunch of Matt Stafford fans on this podcast, don't we?
I like Matt Stafford, of course. I mean, we all root for Matt Stafford.
We're a Matt Stafford friendly league.
Anyhow, yeah. So we all like to root for Matt Stafford. It's nice.
If you don't like Matt Stafford, you can get the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean, the man put in time. Man played through broken backs to like.
He gave it all up for Detroit.
Yeah,
for the city.
He did.
Put his heart out on the line.
Anyway, I don't think Matt Stafford should be drafted.
Nope.
Not worth it. We all said it, but he's not gonna put up numbers. Don't draft.
Nah, he's gonna end up on someone's roster for a couple weeks because of an injury.
He has a massive re-injury risk too. He's had so many injuries in his career, and he's just coming off a major injury in his elbow, I believe.
Hell yeah.
And so I wouldn't draft him.
He's grizzled. I like him.
Grizzled veteran.
He is.
I don't think we need to talk about him that much, but he is very relevant to the other players that are on the team.
Yep.
So
because he got a fucking cannon.
Yeah, he's a great quarterback when he's healthy. So I like Cam Akers. I've said that many times. I think Cam Akers is going to be a top 15 running back this year.
Jake, how do you feel about Cam Akers? Because I don't agree with that shit at all.
Cam Akers is one of those Achilles injuries. It's got me like red flag.
Definitely.
So I'm gonna let that ship sail and be okay if it works out well for somebody else.
What's he going right now? Because we got a top 15 lock
22
from Patrick. He's going for 22.
Yeah, he's going RB 22. That's why I want him.
Who's that around?
Alvin Kamara and Rachaad White.
And Dameon Pierce is around there too.
Yep.
I would much rather have Dameon Pierce.
I would not, because I don't think Cam Akers has the type of competition that Dameon Pierce has. Dameon Pierce has Devin Singletary.
Where's Alvin Kamara going to be after 6 games? Is it 6 or 4?
He might not even get suspended. It's not been confirmed yet.
Yeah,
he might not even get suspended.
Oh my goodness! Those are spicy dice.
Yeah,
those are spicy dice.
Yeah, exactly.
The
news lately is that he's going to go meet with Roger Goodell personally and explain his side of the story.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
interesting.
That came out like yesterday, the day before. But anyhow,
well, they drafted a running back too, didn't they? But not until it looks like the 6th round or something.
They have Zach
Williams.
Yeah, they don't have any. They have bumps. The only one there that was challenging.
They got Jamal Williams.
No, in you're talking New Orleans. We're talking LA, man. Remember, we're in the West, not the South, Fred.
I thought we were talking about Alvin Kamara.
No.
I got some medicine in me. Leave me alone.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good, man. We're getting through it. We're on team number 3. We only got one more to go, man. Anyway, so yeah, we're doing fine. We sound a little froggy, but we're still doing fine. What was I saying? Cam Akers. I like Cam Akers, man, because there was such a rift. There was such a rift between him and the team last year. But then he came back and he lit it up at the end of the year, man. I think he got the number 1 running back job.
Too volatile.
I think Sean McVay likes him. I think the offense is getting better.
Scared Alan Taylor so bad to start the year last year that he gave me Amon-Ra St. Brown to get Cam Akers back up. So
that's fun.
Throw that back out in the
yeah, but I think it's a different year, and I think people are going to be too low on Cam Akers.
Yeah, I'm going to let you say I told you so about Cam Akers. That's going to be just fine with me.
He would be just fine.
I would rather have DeAndre Swift than Cam Akers.
Absolutely.
Whoa.
Not. Absolutely not.
What a line.
I would.
Absolutely not.
It is kind of close, but I would rather have Swift than
you guys are crazy.
Cam Akers is not the show.
Philadelphia does not throw the ball to the running backs.
I don't think Cam Akers finishes the year.
They had Kenny Gainwell. If they wanted to throw the ball to the running backs, they would have thrown it to Kenny G.
Cam Akers, you're not getting a full season.
Well, okay, so I mean, any running back can get injured. If we're talking about injury prone, DeAndre Swift is way more injury prone than Cam Akers.
It's more than injuries with Cam Akers. It's more than that.
I don't know, man. I think you guys are going to regret it. But you know what? I'll scoop up all the Cam Akers. That's fine. I'll eat that lunch. Okay. I'll eat that. I'll grow my fantasy championship.
Cam Akers sounds perfect if you're trying to get fourth place.
Hey, I'll plant my championship seeds in the makers. I'll fertilize them. I'll water them.
I don't like how this
grow a trophy out of the makers. Anyway, all right. Anyway, so Tyler Higbee, whatever, been there, done that. Don't need him. Better tight ends.
Let's talk about Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp going off the wide receiver one season to getting injured the next. What are we expecting this year?
So I traded him away for a first-round pick and a running back at Dynasty. That was kind of bold of me. That was kind of stupid, honestly. It was silly, but I did it.
Never mind. Continue.
It's okay. I did it for Devon Achane and a first-round pick, but we'll see. I might be right still. I think
there's a good time.
There's a non-zero chance that Cooper Kupp, this might be the year where he doesn't have it. It's possible.
Might be. Wide receivers, leg injuries, man. They can completely derail.
And this is number 2. Second big one for him.
There's two injuries you got to worry about. There. You got Matthew Stafford and you got Cooper Kupp. And I don't like doubling those chances up.
But do you remember 2 seasons ago, man? Like, it didn't matter what kind of coverage you're running.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I do. I do know.
If you take a little tight, because he's on your team.
Even last year.
If you take like a little step off of that, it might still be enough.
It's true.
It could be.
I remember watching him on Dave's squad last year, like, because I've written Dave off a few games, and I'm like, wait, where's this 36 points? I'm like, oh yes, Cooper Kupp. You just don't. You're like, he's gonna have 30 plus, and you just accept it.
Because the games where he does it, he gets like 8 catches in the first quarter and a half. He's got 15 points. They can either not touch him again, or you see them just force feeding him the ball.
I just don't
with
know,
nobody
man.
around him.
I just
he catches like a 4-yard flare for a touchdown. You're like, ugh.
Yep. He's one of the most annoying people to see in the lineup going against you.
Hate seeing him on Madden. Hate seeing it.
I'm probably not going to draft him, man. I'm probably not going to draft him.
I'm not drafting him where he's going unless
you need to have a top 7 pick to do it. So
yeah.
Top 5, honestly, probably.
I would think probably 5, but
top 5 probably. Top 6 definitely.
But I would rather have Tyreek Hill.
100%.
I get it.
So I mean,
oh man, I love. It's so good. It's so good.
And I might honestly rather have Kelsey or Bijan or Austin Eckler.
Definitely Eckler. Definitely.
I'm thinking about it.
Definitely Eckler. Eckler is a no-brainer.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, especially on that offense this year.
Yeah.
Ooh,
give me Chargers.
It's gonna be great.
You're gonna see Chargers. You're gonna see Vikings on my squad.
Chargers gonna be putting up some points this year. Anyway,
fuck yeah.
Good thing real world success doesn't translate to fantasy. Yeah,
maybe a Cowboy.
Chargers and Vikings.
Yeah, hey man, they don't need to be in the playoffs to put me into a championship.
They put up a lot of points though.
That's not what this is about, man.
Nope.
I'd love to have some bangies on my roster too. But anyway, so what am I saying? Cooper Kupp and like nobody else. I don't want any of the other wide receivers. Van Jefferson maybe could be something.
That's one of those week 8, 9 situations. You need a guy who's going to catch an 80-yard bomb.
What about this Ben Skoranek?
Yeah, maybe.
Think he's going to build on the little bit he had last year?
I got to see it again.
Cooper Kupp came out of nowhere. We didn't know who the fuck Cooper Kupp was until.
Are you calling Ben Skoranek Julian Edelman the deuce?
He could be.
Interesting.
I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. I mean, Sean McVay is a great coach. He's developed a lot of talent on
Sean McVay is developing Julian Edelman Part 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. Nice. Well, guys, shall we? I mean, the Rams' defense secondary is going to be terrible. Yep. They have Aaron Donald. I don't think they have much else. At least I'm not familiar with what else they have. I don't think they're going to be a great defense. I think their offensive line is a little bit better. I don't think they get second. You guys do. We'll see.
But we all know who's getting first.
Yeah.
We all know who's getting first.
We call that a segue, folks. The San Francisco Football Niners.
They should have been in the Super Bowl. That's the matchup we really wanted.
I still think the Eagles deserve to be there more. But
they played against a team for an entire half that didn't have a quarterback. Patrick.
We definitely got robbed of a game. I know that much more than I know anything else. We got robbed of a game.
We did.
So the Eagles have an extremely durable quarterback who didn't get hurt, and the other team had a quarterback who wasn't as durable and they got hurt.
I'm okay giving you that argument because they
shut the fuck up, Patrick, is what I say to that. That was the dumbest thing that you've offered.
He's probably one of the most durable quarterbacks in the league right now.
He's going to get a fucking hangnail this season and miss a week because you said that.
I highly doubt it. I think that man's as tough as they come. Anyway.
I think so? Such a small sample size?
I mean, he's probably as strong as they come, but like, those two are not the same thing. Two are not the same thing.
He made this Super Bowl a year after everybody thought he didn't know how to throw a football.
He did get a lot better throwing the football. He got a lot better.
Yeah. So I'm just saying. I got a lot better.
Can he do it twice?
I thought you were saying the most indestructible or whatever was Brock Purdy. That's why
absolutely not.
You up. I was like, what the fuck?
I'm talking about Cody. Talking about Cody hating on Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts got it.
Because they made it to the Super Bowl because Brock Purdy got hurt. Cool. Brock Purdy got hurt, dude. Jalen Hurts didn't, man. So that's the NFL, baby.
So how do we feel about Brock Purdy then? Back to the West.
I don't think he holds the job.
I think he does.
Nope.
That's what all the reports are right now.
You think it's going to Sam? You think it's going to Trey? If he does,
no, it's Brock Purdy.
No, I'm talking to the one that thinks that he's out.
Okay.
I think Sam Darnold is going to be the starting quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers.
I don't think it's going to take much because of the talent they got on that fucking team.
I think what's going to happen is Kyle Shanahan is going to see in Sam Darnold a guy that's going to Jimmy Garoppolo that team to victory. That's what I think is going to happen.
I think that Brock Purdy is a starting quarterback, and he will do just fine.
I think you're the one that's given the keys of the kingdom to a guy on a small sample size against crap defenses. And then when they got into the playoffs, he had a game or two that was solid. Again, against not great defenses. And then they went up against good defense. He got hurt. I don't think we've really seen him.
we've really seen him. I'm only pulling this out of the recent reports of who's getting the most starting reps. And right now, Brock Purdy is leading it, and Trey Lance is hardly getting none. Sam Darnold's the number two.
Brock Purdy's going to be the starter for sure. Yeah. But I don't think he's going to hold down the job is what I'm saying.
I do because that team is so good that they're not going to fail.
They can win, but if he's ugly in the wins, he will lose the job. That's how Shanahan rolls.
I don't think you see a winning team replace their quarterback.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we're going to see Sammy Buckets running the show out there in San Francisco.
I would like to make some sort of wager about that with you later.
We can figure it out.
I think we can.
But anyway,
why rob the viewers of that process?
I know, because we're both under the weather. We don't have our full faculties. We'll wait for later.
No, I got all the faculties I need. I didn't want to bother Jake with this. I respect his title and his time too much.
You'd bother me if you didn't.
All right, I'll bet you a drink that Sam Darnold starts more games than Brock Purdy. How's that?
Yes.
Okay. Deal.
Witness.
All right. So we'll remember that, and at the draft the next year, we'll enact that ransom or whatever.
I'm not sure to remember that, but it is going to be fun.
I'm ordering some really, really sweet whiskey.
Cody will not forget that, Jake. You forget who Cody is.
He will if he loses conveniently.
Yeah, well then, I won't forget. It'll be great. It'll be great to rub on Cody's face.
He won't hear a fucking word about it.
It'll be great. It'll be great to come to Cody's bar and watch him just pour me inexpensive whiskey, but not actually pay for it because he'll just steal it from the bar that he works at, and then it'll never be known at all. And Cody will suffer.
Go ahead and keep the draft at Dundee's then for your wallet's sake, because our whiskey selection is embarrassing.
Oh damn!
Nothing expensive.
Local business called out in sports podcast.
I'm even wearing the hat.
Down in shambles.
We rep hard for Dundee.
It is the Dundee's league, right?
Listen, even when I'm so sick that I just can't barely stand it, I still blow my nose into Dundee's every day.
That's right.
Yes.
That's how we do it. He respects it so much, he uses it to protect his nose, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me tell you what. Let's move on to the running backs. CMC, number one running back off the board. I don't think there's a question about it. In that offense,
you could argue someone else, but only because you're never going to see those top 5 again.
CMC should be in the top
number
3
one.
He should be the top 3 off the board.
Yep.
You can argue Chase or Jefferson if you wanted.
The running back purist in me, the old school fantasy football in me, wants CMC if I'm the number 1 spot. But
I would take Jefferson if it was me.
It's for me. If I have the 1-1, it's either Jefferson or Eckler.
If I see somebody take
I feel it.
Jamar Chase or Christian McCaffrey at the 1 spot, I don't feel like it's a mistake in the way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can take any one of them. And honestly, I think that Jamar Chase has a good chance at being the number 1 wide receiver this year. I think we're going to see that.
I think you're right, but like we got Joe Burrow maybe missing extra time news.
Oh, you're right.
Ooh, you know what I mean? Like I saw that, I go,
that gives you a little jitters.
Chase puts me back down to like that fucking 5, 7, 8 spot.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
Uh-huh.
JJ's number 1 because of that.
Because of that.
You're not wrong. But anyway, so
CMC.
Okay. CMC, yeah, great. Whatever, figure out who his handcuff is and take him if you have CMC as your like super last pick or whatever.
Elijah Mitchell.
Sure. If CMC's healthy, Elijah Mitchell's irrelevant.
Right.
He's a good handcuff. He's a great handcuff. If CMC goes down, great handcuff.
Great.
Yeah. He's like an Alexander Madison level handcuff, a guy that could come in and play well. But
so now we're singing the praises of Alexander Madison.
Yeah, as a guy who can come in and play for 1 game and not a whole season and carry a full workload. Because what did Elijah Mitchell do when he tried to carry a full workload? He got hurt twice. Folks.
Just me picking cherries.
He got hurt twice. Anyway, so the wide receivers, Debo or Ayuk. Who do you take first?
First you take Debo, but like, dude, I have Ayuk so much closer than what I think other people do.
I think Brock Purdy throws the ball down the field. If it's going to be Brock Purdy,
I think Brandon Ayuk is the pure receiver.
I think 2 years ago when Debo
was
healthy, he was the best offensive talent in the NFL.
You know what?
Christian McCaffrey.
His value drops with CMC there because they could both do everything so well.
But the stat I saw today, the last time Brock Purdy and Debo and CMC and Ayuk were all healthy and Kittle, I think the timeshare was Debo like 25% of targets, Christian McCaffrey 21%, and it was on down from there. So
how about that?
Still a heavy dose.
All I'm trying to say is that, you know, I think Brant was right all last year when he was arguing with me about Debo. And I was really trying to not give in because I was trying to trade Debo because I knew he was right. Because I think Brandon Ayuk is the one with more upside. Because if you're going short yardage targets, which is where Debo excels, it's going to be CMC and Kittle.
Yep.
And down the field, Brandon Ayuk is better. So it's like, I think, and then Debo is older. Debo keeps getting older every year.
But Debo's been pretty verbal, and maybe it's ego, maybe it's nothing, but he's been pretty vocal about him being distracted by contract issues last year and how he wishes he could just bury that season because he says himself he wasn't up to his own standard as far as being in shape. So
that's fair, but I mean, I don't know, man.
I'm just saying maybe it's not a talent thing, and maybe it was a preparation thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're all professional athletes. I think he got his lunch eaten by CMC and Brandon Ayuk is what happened. That's what I think.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't want to be sitting holding the Debo dice whenever that thing happens because
I've taken 0 Debo. I've done so many drafts. I've taken 0 Debo Samuel.
Interesting. I don't think you'll see him on my squad.
Can't wait for him to fall to me then, because I fucking love the prospect of having a Debo, and for precisely the reason that people are sleeping on him.
Interesting.
Well, I mean that's fair.
It sounds like a Dave argument if I ever heard it. All the
But
people that are
no,
reasoning why they don't want to
fucking do that to me. You shut your fucking mouth.
if Debo falls down to like wide receiver 20,
you almost
then
let me loose. You almost let me out the gate.
Wide receiver what?
if Debo falls to like wide receiver 20, he's a massive value. If he somehow falls like that low because people are scared of it, then that's where I would take him, like 18 to 20. I would rather have Keenan Allen than Debo.
Jake,
The
so
list,
where do you
list
take
that
him?
I'm looking at has got Debo at 17, so it doesn't really sound like you're saying much.
Well, you said 20.
Oh, really?
Then he said 18 to 20.
I've seen Debo being taken around like wide receiver 15. So
got it. All right, so I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking
I've seen 12.
I would rather have Olave,
Okay.
but that's
Absolutely.
about the range I'm looking at. Oh fuck, man!
Really?
Olave, I'm looking at this list.
In the same. Oh no! See, here he goes.
Because I'm seeing him next to Amari Cooper, and I'm like,
no,
yeah,
I want Amari.
I think I still take Debo there. I think I still take
him above Amari. Are you kidding me?
With Deshaun Watson this year?
Oh my god!
Fuck Deshaun Watson.
That.
Nah, you're wrong, man.
Well, yeah, like fuck Deshaun Watson, but
it's Amari Cooper.
Yeah, it's Amari Cooper.
All right, Debo, Amari, and DeAndre Hopkins are back to back to back. Rank those 1 through 3 for me.
I would consider
Amari, DeAndre, and then Debo.
I would consider Debo and Hopkins are on a level for me because of Hopkins' injury concerns. That's why.
I think
if
Hopkins has the most upside.
Hopkins, Samuel, Cooper, and I like all 3 of them though.
I mean, I don't like all 3 of them. I like 2 of them.
Well, here's the thing. What if Tannehill has an A.J. Brown level connection with Hopkins this year? Because we saw A.J. Brown put up some numbers.
Hopkins is incredible. Hopkins didn't play for like 10 weeks last year. Yeah, and then came in and before the quarterback went down was cleaning up for like 3 weeks after not playing for 10 weeks.
It's true.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, man. I don't know.
Upside. If I want consistency, Amari Cooper.
George Kittle. I don't know if I want George Kittle this year either, man.
I don't want him where he's going.
I don't want him where he's going either, but I do want him.
He's going number 4. I honestly,
give me Dallas Goedert and Darren Waller before you give me Kittle.
I don't want Darren Waller before Kittle.
Kittle's going too high though. Like I would take Waller where he's going. Yeah. That's what I think Jake's trying to say. Like if they're both on the table in the same round, clearly you're taking Kittle. Like if Kittle is there still,
is that what Jake's saying?
You putting words in my mouth?
Because I feel like he was saying something.
If you're not saying that, then you're out of your mind.
Speak up.
But anyway,
you think so?
Yeah.
I think one of them's fighting a lot more other people on his own team just to get targets.
If Kittle is in the 7th, if Kittle's in like the 6th or 7th round, right next to Darren Waller, you're telling me you take Darren Waller in the 6th, 7th round when you could have Kittle? Yeah, that's crazy.
That's what you're saying.
All right. Well,
I agree with the man downstairs. That is
not going to happen. I don't really have a super strong opinion, and I think in my brain about it, the fact that I've even got him close tells me that I'm just not excited about Kittle at all.
Okay.
The only tight end that I want early, if I don't get Kelsey, is Mark Andrews. Otherwise, I'm waiting.
I'm not big on Mark Andrews right now.
You're not on the Hawkins sauce.
No. Jordan Addison's coming in. He's going to eat up a lot of targets. And Hawkinson, I think is going too high also. He's too rich. He's too rich for my blood. I'd rather have the wide receivers that are available in that space.
Got it.
What else do we have to say? I mean, San Francisco defense, top 3. I don't know if they're the number 1, but they're top 3.
I'd pick them 1.
It's them.
If I was going to pick a defense 1.
It's them, Dallas, and Philly, right? I mean, those are the top 3 defenses.
Right? Buffalo. I mean, again, I'm going off ESPN, but they got in 1 through 5. They got Niners, Bills, Cowboys, Steelers, and then Dolphins.
Dolphins.
They don't have the Eagles in there at all.
Dolphins.
They got Philly for fantasy purposes at all right. So because of one guy at 10.
Oh my
They
God.
got 4 people that got them anywhere from 2 to 7. One guy that's got them at 18, and one guy that's got them not even ranked.
Oh my God!
Is Cody ranking the?
He might be. Let me
18th?
see.
Like, is he in these rankings? Like,
easy,
because that's
easy,
wild.
easy.
It's wild to rank them outside of the top 10.
But again, it's one of those things that people don't always think about. There's good fantasy defenses and there's good defenses. You could be a shutdown cornerback. Like, think about leagues that do individual defensive players. You have some cornerbacks that nobody will throw to that side of the field. So guess what? They don't get any fucking fantasy points. The same kind of
threw the ball
translation
at Darius
sometimes.
Slay a lot last year. He picked off a lot of balls.
Yep.
And you have to throw the ball to one side of the field. They have to throw the ball to one side of the field. You can throw to Slay, you're going to throw to Bradbury.
I hear you. What I'm saying is getting a punt. If you're a defense that's really good and gets a lot of punts, that gets you no points unless you're running them back.
The Eagles get a lot of sacks too.
Yeah, they did. Led the league.
I hear you. I'm just saying, I think that's the counter argument, though.
I hear you.
Maybe they're good and they're not creating points.
The reason why I have the Eagles, the Niners, and Dallas in the top 3 is because they have weapons on both ends of their defense, and they all have good linebacking cores.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They have playmakers on the line on all 3 of those teams. They have players in the secondary. Arguably, Dallas might have the best secondary out of those 3.
Dude, think about it. That is such a sexy squad to even just consider, like, lining
Dallas's
up on that
team.
with. Yes,
it's gonna be nasty.
They've got 2 ace corners. They've got 3 safeties that are all studs.
One of them,
they've got Micah Parsons, who's the best player in all of the NFL.
Did you see that? One of the safeties, though,
he's not a quarterback because it's different. You got to judge him different. You just have to.
One of those safeties.
Because he's not Patrick Mahomes.
What? Yeah, so it's clearly Dak Prescott and then Micah Parsons.
No, all I'm trying to say is that one of the safeties for Dallas, he's like in the top 3 rotation. I don't know if he's a starter, but he's like the next guy in.
It's you got J-Rod Curse, you got Donovan Wilson, and I think it's Donovan Wilson who does a lot of the switching in, but he's a stud. PFF.
One of them just got a massive injury though. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
Who's the other one?
Yeah.
Is it Wilcox?
So I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon, guys, because there's some kids that are gonna need to be going to bed here soon.
We talked about
we're pretty much done, yeah.
West, right?
So yeah.
Did we do it?
Yeah, we did it. We did it. We did the NFC West, a little bit under the weather, a little bit on vacation, but we made it happen. There's a cow in the background. There's a trophy.
There's a cow.
We did it. Yeah. Anything else to say, boys?
Well done.
All right. Hey, this is a low energy podcast. We still came with the information, so hope you all enjoy. Yeah, we all need to feel better. So anyway, thanks for listening.
I'm dying
this long with our gravelly voices. And yeah, so what are we doing next week? What are we doing? What's the next one?
Let's do the East.
Okay. I mean, that's kind of how we did it before. Then we went West and then East and then South and then North. That's what we did.
The prettiest division in all of football.
It's going to be fun to tell you guys that the Eagles are going to be number 1 again. Anyway. It's going to be a fun discussion because I know you guys are just going to 2-1 me and we're going to talk about Dallas last for some stupid reason.
Dallas is going to win that division.
There's no way. Anyway.
Dallas division.
Wow. I can tell that Patrick's not biased about it at all. Okay, good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, guys.